Most people will never be rich, and it's not because they don't make enough money, but it's because they don't build enough systems in their life in order to become successful. So on this episode, we're just gonna talk about a lot of people in the community, in the world, entrepreneurs, just wonder why they're not becoming wealthy. And it's super important is that a lot of people in general are just talking about consumption, but we're not actually building ownership. We want to consume Jordans, we want to consume vacations, we want to consume designer clothes, but we don't want to actually buy assets that can put us into positions of being owners. The difference between the lower class, they end up spending their money on things just to get by, things they really just to survive. People that are in the middle class, they have just enough money to basically get their necessities, and then just barely enough to go and get some of the things that they want. But the ultra wealthy are the people that have majority of their money in assets that grow and compound over the course of time, while that basically funds their liabilities or other things which are strategically to help them deduct taxes. You have to be something that's super important, that if it's not an income problem, but you're not able to have stocks. We have most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, regardless of if they're making $50,000, 49% of people that are making $100,000, people that are even 36% of people that are making over $200,000 are still living paycheck to paycheck. So it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you can keep, not going to lifestyle inflation, things like that. Number two, a lot of people think that you have to wait until you have enough money. No, you waiting to have money is time that you're giving up. The time value of money, your dollar is getting worth less today than it was yesterday. So continue to go over the course of time. If you're not putting your money into assets, it's just going down with inflation, the purchasing power, and just continuing the rising price of goods and services over time with inflation. It's something who start before you're ready. You'll never truly be ready to be wealth, so you might as well start. Compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. So people that are able to use it are able to grow and see that over the course of time. Don't think in just years, don't even think in months, don't even look in decades. Think in centuries for your family that things compound. And number three is that a lot of people just don't know how money works. They don't know about investing. They don't know about tax assets versus liabilities. We think that our car is an asset, but the majority of it to 30% depreciation, the second goes off the lot. Your car is not an asset, it's a liability. And you basically trade your time for money. If you work your time for money, you'll never truly be free because you can only be limited to the amount of hours you work in a day. Entrepreneurs and people that build wealth are able to make money off of the value that they provide, not based off the hours in a day. So continue to build high-level skill sets to be able to help and build value to add more money to your life. And be able to understand, if you don't understand money, work for someone who does, or learn how to operate like someone who is already. And then also being around the same broke environment. If you hang about 9 broke people, you'll be the 10th. Hang around people who are always spending their money on things just to impress others, keeping up with the Kardashians, keeping up with the Jones, then that's really, you're going to be where your route is. If you're around people who are going to be wealthy, people that have that mindset to build wealth, that capacity, because it doesn't matter how much money someone is wealthy, if you take it away, they'll make it back every single time because they have that capacity to build wealth. So you must do that for your life. If you give someone $1 million that wins the lottery, 6 to 12 months, they'll most likely be broke. Someone who has wealth, you took away their wealth, they'll most likely get it back over the course of time because they have that capacity within their mindset. And it's super important that it's about people that have the habits, people that have the mindset, and people that have the smart conversations. Your environment will either grow your wealth or kill your wealth. So that's something that's super important for you all to know. And a lot of things, the biggest thing is that your job income is never going to make you wealthy. Wealth is ownership and leverage. If you're able to have ownership in your home, ownership in your business, ownership in your investments, that's able to compound over the course of time, but you can leverage for future investments, whether it's business, real estate, more opportunities to get interest loans on different things to help buy more assets. If your money stops when you stop working, you just have another expensive hobby or another job. You want your money to grow while you sleep. Make your money in your day, let your money grow for you down in your sleep by having different tangible vehicles, whether that's stocks, whether that's real estate, whether that's bonds, whether that's an entrepreneur. Have something that's growing for you as you sleep. And then a lot of people fear risk, but they ignore the real risk. The real risk is they fear investing. 3 things, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose money. Yes, but you're losing money each and every day. 3 things that have recovered 100% of the time in American history in the United States stock market is real estate, gross domestic product, which is GDP, and stock market prices. They've gone up, whether war, conflict, recession, political issues, they have recovered 100% of the time. So it's important to hold not just for 1 year, not for 3 years, but hold for 20 plus years. As you have seen that going up almost 100% of the time. And it's something that's super important is that people don't stay consistent enough. A lot of people think just because they don't hit something that in their 20s, they'll hit something in their 30s, they'll hit something in their 40s or 50s that they're not successful. The average millionaire is in their 50s. So just because you don't have that money, the most people that's online, flexing online with expensive cars, expensive vacations are people that are typically broke, or they don't actually have that money. Most of those cars are rented. People are going online in fake jets. People are going to have this specific image, but that doesn't actually build wealth. Wealth is quiet. Wealth is something that moves without having to be told. Wealth is in relationships. Wealth is more than just the picture that you see online. People don't fail because it doesn't work. It's because people don't actually stop. You go and stop. You stop, and all you need is to be able to have that next option, that next opportunity, next relationship. And you have to focus more on the skill sets, focus more on the values, and then the money will come. Don't quit just early just because something stops. A lot of these people, Ray Kroc, stands McDonald's until he was later. The founder of KFC, Colonel Sanders, wasn't until the 60s when he came over to KFC. So all you need to understand is you have to play this the long game. It's not going to come quick. Get rich quick schemes, 90% of day traders lose money. Anything wealthy is going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take energy. And just something that's super important is for myself. I started investing when I was 16 years old, and now I'm 22 years old. I've been investing for almost 6 years. And for me, it takes 10 years to master something, 10,000 hours. If you're not putting 10,000 hours into something, don't expect to be able to be a master in it. You have to be able to take time, take energy, take sacrifice. And that's something that more people need to understand. It's not just going to come instantly, but it's going to come over the course of time. It's something that's super important that me starting investing at the age of 16 has my money compound even more than if I were to start in my 20s or 30s. But understanding that it's not about the money, it's about me investing my time into building relationships, building my skill set, reading books, going to conferences, getting education, getting mentors. All those different things you have to invest in over the course of time, and you can see a higher rate of return later. And I started building my community in order to help other people put on by creating systems. It's super important that you can't just go and be one person band. You have to be able to collaborate because your network is your net worth, and who you collaborate with is where you're going to be able to go way further. And then the biggest thing for most people is just that if you're listening to this, I want you to actually not just listen to it, I want you to actually implement this. Dreams without action is just a wish. And most people sit on their phone scrolling, saying one thing, but one thing I challenge you to do is actually implement this in your life. Actually go out there and create the LLC. Go out there and actually start doing the business. The reason people are not successful is not because they have a good product, it's because they're not actually reaching the right audience, and they're not actually sharing their message enough. And use that opportunity to share your message to the world, and that you can be able to achieve anything you put your mind to. It just takes time, it takes energy, and it takes failure. And once you learn from those failures, you find out what does work and what doesn't work, and maximize the things that do. So make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out more comments and what you like of this video, and I'll talk to you soon.